Hi friends, and welcome back to the Baseball Card Illustrated channel. I'm Bronko, the PSA 11, and I apologize for the snafu that left us without a Mystery Mondays this week. I guess the mystery is, where did it go? We'll be back with that next week, but for now, I hope you will accept the bottom 9 as a suitable replacement and apology for that glitch. With that in mind, we present to you Bronco's bottom 9 all-time football TTMs as we unofficially kick off football month here on the channel. Number 9. If I were to put together a list of what positions my favorite footballers tend to play, I'm pretty sure defensive back would be near the top of the list. As a defensive coordinator, I generally spend most of my time working with linebackers, but there is nothing I appreciate more than a lockdown corner. Aeneas Williams was one of those types of players back in the 1990s and into the 2000s. He spent the bulk of his career with the Phoenix, then Arizona Cardinals, and wrapped up his career with the St. Louis Rams. Perhaps his most memorable stretch came in 2001 when he intercepted Packers quarterback Brett Favre twice for pick sixes in the divisional round, then clinched an NFC championship by snagging a throw by Donovan McNabb with 2 minutes to play against Philadelphia. Williams was selected for the Pro Bowl 8 times, was named to the All-Pro team 3 times, and was elected to the Hall of Fame in 2014. Number 8. It is undisputed that Shannon Sharpe is one of the best tight ends to ever line up in the NFL. Originally drafted in the 7th round by the Denver Broncos as a wide receiver, his first 2 seasons were rather undistinguished until the team converted him to the tight end position. He flourished in that role, catching more than 80 passes in his second year at that spot, along with 9 touchdowns. He would go on to haul in more than 800 receptions in his career for more than 10,000 yards and 62 scores while winning 3 Super Bowl rings. With a personality as big as his game, Sharpe found a home in broadcasting after his Hall of Fame playing career. Number 6. One of the many iconic plays during the back-to-back Super Bowl championship run by the Broncos in the late 90s was an 80-yard touchdown reception by Rod Smith against Atlanta in Super Bowl 33, depicted on this 8x10 he was nice enough to sign for me through the mail. As memorable as that grab was, it was his first catch that put him on the map, a game-winning 43-yard touchdown catch in the final minute of a game against Washington early in the 1995 season. Smith, who went undrafted, finished a remarkable NFL career with 849 receptions for 11,389 yards and 68 touchdowns, along with 2 Super Bowl rings. He is a 3-time Pro Bowl pick and a member of the Broncos' Ring of Honor. Number 5. Probably the most controversial figure on this list, allow me to explain the choice of Jim Harbaugh. I am something of a unique character when it comes to college sports. I'll watch basketball and football from time to time, but have no real attachment to any particular school or program. As such, I'm in the unique position of sometimes liking both halves of a rivalry, such as Notre Dame and Michigan. Sorry, Tony Black. With that in mind, I always kind of liked Jim Harbaugh as a player and sent a TTM his way later in his career. Then he got into coaching, and I was immediately a fan. I know his style turns off a lot of people, but I can't apologize for what I like, and love him or hate him, he is a colorful character that adds some intrigue to the college sports landscape. Number 4. Going back to the start of this list, I mentioned my affinity for the cornerback position. Daryl Green is another highly skilled, and to my line of thinking, underappreciated star that was among the best to ever line up outside. Maybe he did garner the respect he was due. After all, he went to the Pro Bowl 7 times, he was an All-Pro 4 times, he won a pair of Super Bowls, and was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but it seems like his many accomplishments are largely forgotten today. To me, the ageless wonder is one of the best to ever cover a receiver, and I'm happy to have his autograph as part of my small collection of defensive back autographs. Number 3. Shaun Alexander is on this list as much for his fantasy football contributions as for his notable accomplishments on the gridiron. To be perfectly blunt, he didn't accomplish a whole lot as a rookie, which admittedly is not all that unusual to say about someone who would go on to be a star in the league. Where it gets interesting is that he bounced around the keeper league I participated in that year, going to 3 or 4 different teams. Early in 2001, I took a flyer on him, looking to help round out a fake backfield that already had LaDainian Tomlinson. Obviously that move worked out pretty well, as he was in the early stages of the first of 5 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. As you may recall, in 2005, he rushed for a staggering 27 touchdowns. Along with that, After making my fantasy football trade in the infancy of Shaun Alex's rise to stardom, I sent out this card through the mail, which came back with a personalized autograph. It was win-win for my Polk High fantasy football squad, except when it came to the postseason, where I managed to do the almost impossible and not win a championship despite having two of the top backs in the league for several years. By the way, speaking of running backs, if you want to win a Bo Jackson rated rookie card, all you have to do is leave Polk High in a comment on this video, and you'll be entered for a chance to win that on a future episode of Baseball Card Illustrated. Number 2. Of all the football games I've watched in my life, there are few in which I could tell you exactly where I was when I saw a memorable play happen. However, on September 17, 1990, Steve Atwater turned out the lights for Christian Okoye of the hated Kansas City Chiefs. Atwater, a big hitter who was fitting in nicely in the Broncos' defense at safety alongside the venerable Dennis Smith, was quickly becoming one of my favorite players heading into a Monday Night Football matchup against the hated Chefs. Okoye, a big running back who was both the irresistible force and the immovable object at that point in time, came rumbling through a hole and was ready to go toe-to-toe with the smiling assassin. Now, at the time, I recall Atwater knocking Okoye back 5 yards when they met in the hole. It's funny how childhood memories are slightly more impressive than the actual facts. However, video evidence does show that Atwater knocked Okoye back about 3 yards, and many say the back, nicknamed the Nigerian Nightmare, was never quite the same after that hit. In any event, it was a memorable hit that made an impact on me almost as much as it made an impact on Okoye. Atwater achieved legendary status with me on that play and was a huge part of the Broncos' success during his Hall of Fame career, and I still recall being a young bucking Bronk sitting on my bed watching the game and jumping high into the air in amazement at what Atwater, who gave up a good 35 pounds to the big back, did on that play. Number 1. Terrell Davis is remembered for many things during a brief but spectacular NFL career: a 2,000-yard season, rushing for more than 100 yards in each of his final 7 playoff games, and winning the Super Bowl 32 MVP award, among other things. I got in on the TD bandwagon fairly early on. While it may seem like a natural for a Broncos fan to send out a TTM request to his favorite team's new starting running back, I was never huge into the TTM game for football, back in the day or even currently. However, I just had a sense heading into the 1996 season that the Broncos were turning a corner. I sent cards to several players on the team, and acquiring 2 autographs from a future Hall of Fame running back was one of the top scorers. Best of all, I was right about the Broncos being a team about to emerge on the NFL scene, as Denver posted the best record in the AFC that year, then went on to win 2 Super Bowls over the next 2 seasons. Mr. Davis, this mile-high salute is for you. And that's the bottom 9, 'cause Bronco said so.